Video games have gotten insane this last decade. They went from this to this in only 10 years, and I didn't get to play every single big release just because I have a lot less free time now that I play video games as a job. So I'm kind of like that guy that goes to a restaurant and only tries like 25% of the menu, but then he still goes on Yelp and writes an uninformed review on the restaurant. So anyway, here's my uninformed Yelp review on the best 10 video games to come out the last decade, explained with food. When you first show up to Portal 2, you're just expecting to play some puzzles, right? Just like at a restaurant, you are just expecting to eat food. But when you go to eat at Portal 2, the waiter comes up to the table and just starts cracking jokes. And a lot of waiters will crack bad dad jokes, but this guy is insanely funny. Like, you're crying with laughter before you've even started eating. And don't get me wrong, the food is spectacular, the steak is amazing, but I barely remember any of it because I walked away from Portal 2 just thinking those were the funniest jokes I've ever heard. Imagine going to a restaurant called Red Dead Ravioli, and the waiter brings the first dish out, and it's the most beautiful food you've ever seen. And then you take a bite, and holy shrimp, the flavors have depth that you didn't know was possible. And then the waiter brings out the second dish, and it's just as good. And then the third dish, and the fourth, and the fifth. But by the 15th dish, you're starting to get pretty goddamn full, and the food's starting to get a little bit repetitive. And so you say to the waiter, hey, is the dinner almost finished? It's really good, but I've been here for like 9 hours? Oh, you haven't even finished the appetizers. There's 50 more courses. Buckle in, cowboy. 50 Why would I need to eat this much food? Because this is America. And he's right. This is America. So you stick it out, but the food just keeps on coming way after you're full. And after 3 full weeks of eating at this restaurant, you finally finish the last dish of dinner and say, this took so goddamn long. Now, can I please leave? Hold on. Don't you want a little epilogue dessert? Okay, I'll have a little dessert. All right, perfect. Here's 8 entire cakes. America. Goddamn America. You know, I think if you took any one of Red Dead's story dishes on their own, that is one of the best tasting foods you can eat. And I think that everybody should experience this game, but the downside is that when they fed you 50 of their dishes in a row and there's still no end in sight, you really wish the waiter would just bring you the goddamn check. Outer Wilds is really weird, so let's compare it to Zelda. Breath of the Wild is all about the discovery of a vast open world, kind of like a shopping at a Costco. And King Costco says, Link, you must bake Zelda a cheesecake before Ganondorf butters her muffins. And you say, okay, but I've never been in a Costco? Like, where is everything? Oh wait, that's the end of my shift. Later, bro. Wait, what the fuck? So now you have to go explore this massive Hyrule Costco with almost no direction or help, but you at least know why you're here. You're making Zelda a cake. Everything fits within that goal. But in Outer Wilds, you wake up in a Costco, and all of the employees have been dead for 200,000 years. You have no idea why you're even in a Costco. And as you fly through Costco in your spaceship, you find the last messages of an ancient Costco civilization. You slowly begin to piece together what happened to everyone and why this Costco blows up every 22 minutes. That moment in Outer Wilds, when all the pieces I'd been researching finally clicked and I understood why I was here, what was going on, and what I had to do next, that is one of my favorite moments in gaming, period. This game is sad, and it's beautiful, and it's thought-provoking, because it's Costco. A lot of Mario games are like a fancy restaurant. Each level is a carefully curated experience, starting with the appetizers, and then there's the main course, and then the dessert in the exact order that the chef designed. Mario Odyssey is more like a big bowl of snacks. Every world is littered with a billion snack surprises. Oh, here's goldfish. Ooh, and pretzels. Oh, Cheez-Its. Now, don't get me wrong, I love to sit around and eat snacks, but if I just eat Cheez-Its for dinner, I don't feel particularly satisfied afterwards, and I didn't get the same level of satisfaction from snacking on Odyssey as I did from a more linear meal like Mario Galaxy, which is one of my all-time favorites. But after my first playthrough, then I learned how to speedrun the game, and I can confirm that Cheez-Its taste even better when you're speedrunning them into your mouth. What I love so much about speedrunning is that it's like unlocking a new bonus game inside of the original game, which is exactly what Spelunky does. At first, playing Spelunky is like eating 4 sandwiches. They're a little hard to eat, but eventually you eat all 4 of them and you think, wow, these were great, and then you eat them like 50 more times. But something is nagging at you. You look back at the first sandwich and you realize there's actually a hidden pickle inside. What could this be for? And wait, in the second sandwich, there's a hidden layer of bread. And the third and the fourth sandwiches have hidden ingredients too, and you realize that if you combine all of the secret sandwich ingredients, you've actually formed a new 5th sandwich with a taste you've never experienced before. Spelunky is a really good sandwich, but when you discover the secret sandwich inside your sandwich, that's when you realize it's a great sandwich. For me, GTA 5 is like a box of cake mix. I bought it, I cooked it just like the box instructions told me to, and it was really, really tasty. And then I forgot about it. Until 5 years later, when I went back to the GTA 5 cake and started modding it. I took their base cake and I added an ice cream mod, and then a whipped cream mod, and then a sprinkles mod, and all sorts of other crazy shit. And now I have incredibly fond memories, not just of GTA 5's amazing base cake, but of the layers that they let me add on top of their cake to create this new dessert all of my own. I basically had this exact same experience with Skyrim, because after I'd been eating Skyrim's amazing base cake for 200 hours and starting to go into cardiac arrest, Todd Howard popped in and said, oh, you can mod our cake too. And so just like GTA 5, you start piling all sorts of crazy crap onto Skyrim's cake and cooking flavors you never thought were possible, and you make all the ice cream fight to the death and you put it on YouTube. Hearthstone for me is one of those foods where the presentation is so incredibly delightful that you don't even care how it actually tastes. I mean, look at these cookies. They are shaped like little rabbits. I don't give a fuck how they taste because they're shaped like little rabbits. Honestly, Hearthstone's not even my favorite game to play. I'm pretty bad at it, but they made a food that is so charming to the point that I watch somebody else bake Hearthstone cookies and I have an absolute blast. Like, I've probably watched 5,000 hours of this game on Twitch over the years, and the Hearthstone community is what inspired me to first start making YouTube videos like 4 years ago. You can say whatever you want about Hearthstone, but this game gave me a creative outlet and a community in my life when I desperately needed it. This game's community gave me my dream job, and it introduced me to a lot of my now best friends. It is actually insane how much my life has been changed by these little rabbit cookies. So I just want to say to the developers of Hearthstone, thank you. I know Team Fortress 2 came out in 2007, but the amount of content that they've released specifically since 2010 is so good that it is still my #2 game for this entire decade. TF2 has an unbelievable amount of variety. TF2 is my most played game ever. TF2 is Taco Bell. Now, Taco Bell also existed before 2010, but like TF2, Taco Bell has consistently reinvented their menu every year and made whole new experiences, like the Doritos Locos Tacos or the Beefy Fritos Burritos. Now, Taco Bell's core ingredients haven't actually changed, like ever. Literally all of their food has the same like 6 ingredients: beef, cheese, lettuce, beans, rice, and cream, and TF2's content all has the same 9 ingredients, but Taco Bell keeps reinventing their 6 core ingredients to keep you coming back for more of their disgusting meat. Likewise, since 2010, TF2 has given us Man vs. Machine, the Hat Economy, holiday events, community maps and mods, competitive source, filmmaker. Most shooters are successful because the competitive shooting is so refined, but to me, TF2 is the opposite. It doesn't claim to be the greatest shooting in the world, and Taco Bell certainly doesn't have the highest quality beef. But you can be sure as hell that no other restaurant has more fun with their core ingredients than Taco Bell does. Like, who the fuck else would make a taco out of Doritos? And what other game would sell you hundreds of hats to go fight a giant Halloween wizard? Certainly not any of my honorable mentions. Celeste, PUBG, Mario Maker, Rayman Origins, Mass Effect 2, Mists of Pandaria, Into the Breach. Now, when the prestigious Michelin Guide awards a restaurant with 1 Michelin star, that means they are a very good restaurant. The honorable mentions here are all worthy of 1 Michelin star in my opinion. They are fantastic games. But the 9 games that are in my list so far would be 2 Michelin stars, meaning that they are excellent cooking that is worth a detour. If you have a console that can play these games, you have to make a detour and play them. But they only award 3 Michelin stars to a restaurant where it is so good that it is worth traveling to that country just to eat there. And even if you've never played a video game in your life, it is worth the full journey of learning to play video games just so that you can experience this one. Breath of the Wild is a 3 Michelin star game. When I play any game or I watch any content, when I do anything, no matter how much I like it, my brain is sitting there analyzing the pros and the cons. Just these little unconscious judgments. It's how your brain works, and thinking about how this product fits into adult Doug's life. That doesn't happen with Breath of the Wild. Instead, this game makes me feel like the critic from Ratatouille. I take a bite of this game and I am fully transported into Hyrule. I'm no longer the critic at the table judging the food. I'm just Link. I am in Hyrule. It doesn't achieve this level of immersion because it has the best graphics ever, or the best music, or the best combat, even though they're all fantastic. It achieves this because everything in the world has a consistent set of rules. It's not trying to replicate a real-life city like GTA 5 or Skyrim, because when you're imitating real life, you're inevitably gonna fall short, the immersion's gonna break, and you will be a critic judging the food again. But with Zelda, you never hit a moment that breaks immersion because the world never reacts in a way that you wouldn't expect. And once they've built these incredibly flexible ingredients for you, Nintendo hands them on a plate and gets out of the way, and they let you play with your food. The chef does not stand there yelling, "I've got a goddamn plan!" They just say, "Here's a dish of ingredients, and now we're gonna leave." And so you talk to almost anybody about their favorite moment in this game, and it's always a scenario that they created themselves, not some pre-made cutscene that was spoon-fed to them. If you want more analysis on why I love this game, you can check out my Red Dead vs. Zelda video, but if you just want to see some moments that made me feel like a kid again, then here are a few of my favorites. God, I fucking love video games. And I fucking love you all for the amazing support this last year. 2019 was the best year of my life, and it went so incredibly much better than I could have possibly imagined, and I am in the unbelievable situation where I get to do this as a job, and that is insane, and it's a dream come true, and I'm so grateful every day, so thank you, I can't wait to do more. I'm in a pot.